Oh boy. Okay, we are in for a fight here. This might actually be the most intense fight of the entire alpha. And it's not even the battle to retake our capital planet. This is just one of the three planets. It just happened to be the last one we hit.
Suits my purposes.
Okay, Delphine's got the stacking damage resistance thing. We'll have to keep that in mind. Also, I do wonder if the intensity of these fights varies depending on how many other planets you've finished beforehand. Because obviously in this case, we've completed both Dargonus and Janus. But if we had come here first, would Delphine have the Forge Fiend ready to go? I say that because in some of the pictures I've seen, the Eldar actually ended up fielding a Spirit Walker, or maybe a Banshee, during some of the late battles of Janus, and obviously we did not see that. But then again, it was the first planet we stumbled across, and thus the first one we completed. So I'm thinking they might have actually scaled the fights there for a lower level party, whereas these are scaled for a much higher level party. Which is interesting. I might have to experiment with that, either in my own time or when we hit the launch build. Maybe hit Kiava Gamma first, and save Janus or Dargonus for last, just to see what might change.
I understand your intent.
Alright, let's start whittling the Forge Fiend. As strange as it is to say, the Forge Fiend is actually the softer of our two main targets here. And it hasn't gotten into that counter-strike stance just yet, so this would be the time to wail on it. The ads are annoying too, but I'm not too worried about them.
Will do. Be gone.
All right, Heinrichs, you're up. Make me proud. Nice, nice.
I won't object.
Okay, not bad. Forge Fiend at 75. Delphine's up next. That wasn't too bad. Let's keep wailing on the Forge Fiend. Though, in theory, Delphine should be vulnerable again.
Step aside. The navigator is coming.
Keep whittling the Forge Fiend.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Nothing stands against me.
Forge Fiend at 50. And an ad remove to boot. I really should use some of these other stratagems sometimes. But Bulwark is always useful. Don't think I've forgotten you, Delphine. Yeah, see, just like with the Magos we encountered when we first got here, damage against Delphine reduces with each subsequent shot. But that's fine. This is a target-rich environment. Oh, wow. You know, maybe I'm being too blasé, because that was rough.
This plebeian is beneath me.
Right, let's finish off the Forge Fiend. And he's doing the counterattack thing. Which actually wasn't that bad. We just need to plan around it. Oh, well, scratch that. The ads took care of it for us. My goodness. Delphine's gonna be mad. Well, I mean, for like 30 more seconds anyway. Nice. Great expectations.
The Emperor is on our side. Be gone.
Thanks, guys. But I'll take it from here.
Sends their regards.
Oof. Yeah, he's pretty much invulnerable right now. Oh, hey, there we go. And just keep hammering.
If I may.
Let's see if we can crack those defenses. And Cubis squared. Now some quick mop up. Goodbye.
The problem for me. Nothing I got with me.
And thus it ends. Not with a bang, but with several bangs. And a level up. Oh wow, assault las guns. Nice. I mean, not super useful to us at this point, obviously, but it is interesting to see that loot progression. Plus, of course, we got some really nice stuff off Cubis here. Off Delphine. Let's get a closer look at those. Seems like it's pretty much custom tailored for Pascal. No real surprise there. Shifting combat tools, a straight upgrade. As is the axe. Nice. So that does make it seem like anyone who's running with Pascal should definitely hit Kiaba Gamma first, just to get those sweet Pascal upgrades.
Victory awaits.
So is that it? No event, or... Oh, here we go. Uh-oh. Sharp pain pierces your head, and light dims in your eyes. You smell smoke and burning. You feel a wave of nausea, your legs buckle, and your knees hit the metal floor. In that same moment, the manufactorum surrounding you disappears behind a whirlwind of mist, ash, and gray shadows. Struggling against the elements, you can barely raise your head to look ahead of you. Your eyes sting and burn, but through the tears you see it. A colossal silhouette rising above you. The roaring tempest is unable to shake this mighty figure. You squint and wipe away the tears, and for the moment your vision clears. Before you stands a mighty giant clad in dark power armor, lavishly adorned with bas-reliefs of sneering demonic silhouettes, and punctuated with prayer scrolls. 2 braziers are mounted behind his shoulders, burning with unnatural blue flames and emitting thick, black smoke, which curls and twists upward like a funnel. Behind the giant's back, you catch a brief glimpse of a crumpled figure, bound in chains. Orelon the Cruel. Seems like a charmer. The warrior's inhuman eyes bore into you. I am the master of those who have been felled by your hand in the halls of primordial truth. I am Orelon the Cruel. The souls of my followers return to the fount of power they served, crying out that I cast my gaze towards this sacrilege. And what do I see? Yet another lackey of the Corpse Emperor. The giant's voice causes the storm raging around you to die down somewhat, as if the very sound of his voice is enough to make the whirlwind subside. You glance at the huge warrior, and you notice on his chest a winding azure symbol. The shades of blue seem to glimmer and intermix. Where are we? Where have you taken me? This is the bridge that connects our minds, created by the will of my slave, whose fate you should be envying. The Psyker is useful enough to me to be left alive. You, hardly. I am the master of Kiaba Gamma. This is my world, not the domain of chaos.
Oh, clinging to illusions will do you no good. The rituals have already been performed. The mortals already sing litanies of the primordial truth, or decorate the sacrificial altars with their flesh. Kiava Gamma, as you call it, is already saturated in the nectar of the truth. A fate that awaits all worlds that would stand in our way. What do you want with me? I want to look upon the one who has disrupted my minions' duties and my master's plans. That warrior from my legion, the Fabricator, you think of their deaths as a triumph. However, it is but a minor hindrance on our path. There are other worlds that serve our goals. There are other sources of plasteel and adamantium. Revel in your victory. It will change nothing. Nevertheless, the blood in your veins whispers to the spirits that you warrant a slightly greater deal of attention. Yes. You are a descendant of the rogue trader whose warrant Conrad Voitvir was supposed to deliver to me. That worm failed at his task. Because of you. He lost my favor. Could it be that you wish to gain it instead? Do you wish to present your false god's relic to me and serve the truth? Your very blood calls for you to serve the one whom your kind, in its blindness, calls the archenemy. What would be the point of such futile defiances? You strain every muscle in your body, but can't move an inch. The dark will presses down upon your shoulders, forbidding you even from straightening your back. I am rogue trader Retcon von Valencius, sovereign of Kiava Gamma. The warrant belongs to me alone. All things in this world are subservient to change, rogue trader. Your predecessor thought herself immortal, and where is she now? What makes you think that you won't be joining her shortly? This isn't your first time meddling in the deeds of the servants of chaos. You were there on Rykad Minoris, and so I want to know if you hold in your hands that which is not yours to hold. And you will tell me yourself. He utters a few words in an unknown tongue over his shoulder, and you feel your head being clamped by an unseen vice. You feel your blood start pumping alarmingly in your temples at an increasing pace as the wind is knocked out of you. But then the drumming in your ears quiets, and your heart, which was about to leap out of your chest, slows its rhythm. Uralon chuckles. Looks like I'm not the only one who appreciates the value of a pet psyker. I will make good use of your watchdog when my servants get to you. Ooh, Adira, nice. Knew I kept you around for a reason. Especially since... He bares his teeth and cackles. Especially since the soul of your leashed sorcerer has already been marked by my lord. A gust of wind sweeps Uralon's figure away without a trace. The mist around you begins to dissipate, revealing the dark halls of the Manufactorum, and leaving behind an oppressive sense of powerlessness. Heinrichs is standing beside you, white as a sheet, eyes wide, grimacing. The air around him seems to roil, though the phenomenon passes almost immediately. As he begins to speak, his voice sounds hoarse and cracked. That wasn't easy. I sensed the presence of another psyker. Someone made contact with you mentally, then tried to harm you with Psychana. I did what I could. At least you look unharmed. Can you remember what you saw? Oh, interesting. So he was not talking about Adira. It was a Chaos Space Marine. One of the traitors to the Imperium. I don't think it was he who grasped your mind. I wouldn't have had the strength to go up against a psyker from the ranks of those monsters. He might have forced some mortal to do his bidding. Perhaps it was through the same hapless medium that he sensed the deaths of his henchmen. Heinrichs looks away and frowns. Such indescribable power. To have reached out to your mind at such a distance. He said something about Theodora, about how the blood in my veins will lead me to serve chaos. Heinrichs looks at you closely, whether with surprise or anger, you're unsure. Then he gives a curt nod. I see. We can theorize later, although I will say, Rogue Trader, that his words do not leave much room for interpretation. Oh, come on, and we lose our chance to say the other thing, to turn the tables and put some onus on him as well? That's unfortunate. The manufactorum around you looks the same as before the vision. Maybe the shadows have grown a little deeper and darker. You dust yourself off and continue on your journey through the darkness. Boo! Boo, I say! The world's industrial heart has fallen to corruption, but numerous faint Vox signals from the periphery indicate that the planet's small manufacturing clusters survived without succumbing to the heretics. The fate of Kiava Gamma hangs in the balance. Oh my, I think that's the most overt chaos option we've had yet. Though to be fair, purifying his own Forge World isn't really something Ret would do either. Not this version of Ret, anyway. I will say, though, the middle-of-the-road option is somehow also unappealing, given what we saw there. But I suppose that's just the nature of the setting of 40k, choosing between a series of inherently unfortunate options. The blast furnaces are lit again. Machines once more fill the air with screeches and squeals, and mag trains of wagons stretch in lines from one workshop to the next. But the cogitators' binary chants carry alarming rumors of malevolent and foul traces of corruption, still lurking in the deepest chambers of the manufactorum. Yeah, what are you gonna do? It's the grimdark future. Corruption is everywhere. You just can't get away from it. Which now gives us access to our third colony, since apparently Dargonis doesn't count as one. I mean, obviously it is a colony, it just doesn't give you access to colony projects like Kiava Gamma and Janus do. Nor the optional colony world on, other planet, whose name escapes me at the moment. Though, of course, had I known this in advance, I would have come to this planet earlier. Since, of course, now this gives us no time to really putter with these projects prior to the end of Act 2. Higher Righteous Fury bonus, okay. That's kind of interesting, but it's actually kind of a step down from the axe we pulled off the Fabricator. Looking at our options here, I think if we decided to really mess with all of the colony projects here, we'd probably go Restoration. That one, I think, feels the most RetconRaider style. Not quite heresy, but definitely skirting the line of legality in the Emperor's domain. Not to mention, of course, a nice upgrade to our forward lance weapon. Though we can't actually make use of that in the current build, given the lack of proper ship upgrades. Though in theory, were we to be continuing after this, those mechanisms would definitely come in handy, because I believe we have a couple of other projects that require them. Though, then again, we also have projects that required weapons. So blessed be the weaponsmiths wouldn't be a bad choice either.
And of course, there's our array of other upgrades and advanced projects we could pursue. Oh, there's Giants. That was actually a prereq for a project on one of our other planets. That's interesting. Not to mention the usual array of mutually exclusive Tier 2 and Tier 3 projects. Those are fun too. That said, we're not going to worry about that stuff. We'll just push on, see how much farther we can go before we hit the cutoff for the Alpha.
Lord Captain, our astropathic choir received a message from Dargonis. The noble houses express their gratitude for the restoration of trade routes between the remaining Von Valancius planets, and express their deepest condolences for the loss of the worlds that did not survive these dark times.
Pretty sure we saved them all, but okay.
In addition, Governor Drivestem has sent a private message to your lordship. I humbly ask the rogue trader for an audience, so I may deliver it. Lord Captain, permission to report,
the Voxmaster says, looking at you deferentially.
Your wise Lex mechanics have analyzed the state of the trade empire. They believe that, thanks to your decisive actions, the acute phase of the crisis has passed. The domain of the Von Valancius dynasty is no longer facing dissolution and ruin. What's more, bringing Footfall to heel has strengthened your position as a rogue trader. Lady Theodora would have been glad to have such an important trade hub come under her sphere of influence. Your exploratory ventures have broadened the borders of known space. In the future, you will be able to spread your territory to these new star systems without having to worry about competition. The Lex mechanics also note that your successes in establishing and developing colonies serve as a promising foundation for further expansion. In honor of such a resounding triumph, Dargonis, as the capital world of your dynasty's domain, is currently making preparations for the Magnae Exsellsior, a grand ceremony of your public induction as the heir of the Honorable Theodora von Valancius.
So what am I expected to do at this ceremony? Swear an oath? Shake a lot of sweaty hands? The grill of the Vox built into Vigdis's face lets out a short rattle that indicates a chuckle.
That much is certain, but that's not all there is to it. There will also be a reception, as well as other noble guests. The distinguished rogue traders Caligos Winterscale and Incendia Corda will be in attendance. It will be a great honor for Dargonis to host 3 illustrious dynasties at once. Your servants wish to know your opinion on 3 matters related to the ceremony arrangements. The first of which is, what festive activities are to take place in the capital on this glorious day?
Yes, I see. What do the rabble like? Ah, of course. Give out enough Amasec for everyone and hold fights between the tougher servants. But, tell me, did the other rogue traders also attend Theodora's Ascensio?
Archival records indicate that they did. Lady Theodora's Magnae Exsellsior was attended by the esteemed Caligos Winterscale and Aspis Corda, Incendia's predecessor. It is an informal tradition. By witnessing the ceremony, the heads of other dynasties confirm that they recognize the new rogue trader as their equal, that they are willing to respect the new rogue trader's privileges, and not encroach upon their holdings. No more than usual, at least.
Yes, of course. Well then, as I was saying, enough Amasec for everyone, and fights between the tougher servants should satiate the rank-and-file rabble.
The ability to see keenly into the hearts of one's people is a great virtue for a ruler to possess, Lord Captain.
Yes, I know, I'm fantastic.
The second matter on your servants' minds is, which 2 of your closest companions will be given the honor of standing by your side during the ceremony?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, Abelard's already serving as, like, the Master of Ceremonies or something, right? So not him. We don't want to give him double glory, especially since he's not traveling with our main party. Yurliette's done a pretty good job, I think. She's actually been surprisingly accommodating, all things considered. And, Heinrich's too, but I don't feel like he would really appreciate that sort of attention. Pascal's getting pretty dicey. I love the guy, but he's definitely flirting with chaos. Jay's a maybe, but we haven't really done much with her. So yeah, we'll start with Yurliette. Let's see what our esteemed guests think of Yurliette, my Eldar escort. To appear before the people in the company of a Xenos? A provocative and intriguing move. It is this kind of behavior that people expect to see from a rogue trader, the wielder of privileges unthinkable for other mortals. And who will be your second companion? You know what? Cassia. We'll pay some respect to the navigators. A great boon for Navigator House Orselio. I will see to it that your instructions are delivered to Dargonis. The Master of Ceremonies at the Palace will report to you when the capital is ready to praise your name. And we won't worry about that level up. At this point in the alpha, there's just no real need. But I will do a quick lap around the bridge, just to see if anyone else has anything new for us in the wake of Kiaba Gamma. Heinrich should have something for us, maybe Pascal as well. One sec. To what do I owe this visit, rogue trader? Heinrichs, tell me, are you satisfied with the results of your mission on Kiaba Gamma? Of course. The fabricator's machine was stopped. Not another soul will be sent into the mouth of the archenemy. In time, we will succeed in uncovering and stopping other schemes of the cult. Heinrichs permits himself the ghost of a smile. We dealt a blow not only to the cultists, but to the archenemy itself. I cannot help but be pleased. Yes, and yet, touching the cogitator clearly did something to you. Anything you'd care to share? Heinrichs is silent for a long time, his eyes distant. Then he meets your gaze. No servant of the God Emperor has closer dealings with corruption than the agents of the Golden Throne. In its quest to guard the Imperium against its foes' most devious and secret schemes, the Inquisition seeks to understand the essence of evil. It is not enough for us to burn or cut down a rotten seedling. We must study it, understand it, touch it. Every time any of us do our duty, we are risking our very souls. But when it comes to psychers, the soul of a psycher is especially enticing to the archenemy. The cogitator was stopped, yes. Heinrichs closes his eyes briefly, and a note of bitterness enters his voice. I touched a machine that was created by evil for the sake of evil. I used it. I delved into the principles of its operation. That was enough. Corruption needs only the briefest brush of contact. When I touched the cult's cogitator, I drew the thousand-eyed gaze of evil upon myself, as an agent does when they interfere in the schemes of those who serve the ruinous powers. And that evil undoubtedly left an invisible mark upon me, as it does on any acolyte who fights against the archenemy. And this will be the case every time I do my duty. I know a good deal about the fates of those who have served the throne before me. Enough to know that my path leads to one place, and one place only. Grim. So what comes next, my friend? What comes next for Heinrichs von Kalox? My visit to Kiava Gamma did not produce answers to all of my questions, but we did succeed in dealing a blow to the cult by destroying the Fabricator's machine. I have directed my spies to track the sect's surviving leaders. I am certain that they will have useful information for us soon. Though small, this is a victory for the Golden Throne, and I have you to thank for it, rogue trader. Oh, please, you flatter me. So tell me, does this mean you're moving on? Are you so certain that the cult has not spread its roots elsewhere in your domain? I fear I will have to remain a while longer, rogue trader. Besides, I am in your retinue not solely for the sake of my own mission, but also to serve as... Heinrich hesitates, reaching for the right word. An advisor, sympathetic to your endeavors. I am under orders, I remind you, to provide escort and support in deeds great and small that serve to safeguard the territories of the Imperium against its enemies. Of course. Very well, Heinrichs, I think I understand. And I believe that will be all for now. Thank you for finding the time for our conversation. Yes. The least I could do. Well, that was interesting. And sadly, that was the only conversation waiting for us around the bridge. At least, that was directly relevant to anything we've done recently. That said, I feel like this is a good place to call it. Technically, we do still have the coronation. I'm just not sure if we really want to delve into that. On the one hand, I imagine it would be a good chance to meet some of the key players for Act 3. As Vigdis told us, that will be where we meet the other rogue traders. But on the other hand, I'm pretty sure it's also going to be a lot of talking. Not exactly the most exciting wrap-up, but though it could be intriguing. I don't know. I'll tell you what, let's hit the pause button for now, and this will be like the soft cap for the Alpha series. But let me know what you think in the comments below, if you'd like to see us wrap things out to round out the series with the coronation event. Because I certainly wouldn't mind exploring it. But either way, thanks for watching. This has been a blast, so I very much look forward to the beta and eventual launch. See ya, Space Cowboy. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, Theory V23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Rowan Church, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.